What you doing? There's food to be had, isn't there? I have gone back to the open bowls and dry feed because of the wet weather. That is the wet season, but when it's this wet for this long, just constant rain, you have to think out of the box, outside the box for chicken feed, it seems. I've given up on fermenting grain for now. Perhaps I'll try that again in the winter. But I've realised that the warm weather here, it's still about 20 degrees, sorry I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, most days, even though it's summer. This is actually not as hot as some summers. Is it, Betty? Hey? I know my kids down south are experiencing a lot hotter weather than when we are here, way in the top of the country. But yes, the hot weather, even if I keep it in the shade, it just ferments the food so much within a day. It's only half a day and it smells funny. And I usually don't like grain mixes, but that's what they're eating at the moment. I usually make my own grain mix. But they put sugar in it, they put molasses and things in it, and I don't like that. Do you, Betty? Do you like that? You eat it. I suppose you don't have teeth, so it doesn't matter so much. Okay. Okay, so you can see that feeder there. It's all clagged up. I hung it underneath the coop just before I left for my holiday to see my kids. And it was working okay, but now the wet weather's in. Every time I come, I need to kind of shake it to let more grain out. I'll show you. Because all the little holes there just clog up. And I don't think there's any rain getting in there, it's just the wetness of the air. So yeah, so we're back to our, just the bowls that are really sturdy that they can't tip over, and if I had a bigger dish I'd put a bigger dish around underneath there, but it stops the mess for the potential mice issues, although I'm pretty sure that my black chicken, Leah, there in the distance, she's become a mouser, which I have heard can happen. So yeah, believe it or not, chickens can catch and eat mice. And frogs, I've seen her with frogs. The others don't. But I suppose that's just a circle of life kind of stuff. Things eat other things. But anyway, I hope that's not stressful for people to hear. Anyway, so the reason why I've stopped using this barrel, which Betty... You loved that barrel, didn't you, Betty? So I've got to fix the problem. Betty loved the barrel, but look what happened in here. It's all wet and it smells bad. And there's even some grass, wheat grass I should imagine, growing up in there. So all of this feed, I intentionally didn't put much in it because I hadn't used it for a while. The barrel, that is. So I hadn't used this system for a while when I went away because I didn't know what was going to happen. Because we have had slight issues with it before, just with the chickens emptying it all, but we've never had the rain get in. So it's underneath the eaves here of the coop, but the rain does collect on top, and I think the main problem is that we have 2 of these from our lovely neighbour, but only one of them came with a seal, a rubber seal that goes around, and I put that one on the water, because this used to be under the coop, not outside the coop. So I think that's my problem. So I'm going to put the lid back on, well, obviously clean out all the spoiled grain. Yeah, scrub the whole thing, make sure it's not nasty anymore. I'm going to put the lid back on. I'm not sure if I'll put the seal on this one or the water one, because the water one actually, it's really gross. Earthworms actually come and die in the water. They're just looking for water, I guess, the poor little things. So that's why I put the seal on the water one. So this one, I think I'll just put the lid on and put duct tape. I think that's the same worldwide, the silver tape that's really wide. And that should waterproof it, and I just have to deal with taking that off every time I need to put more grain in there. But yeah, for Betty's sake, because she does so well with it. Hey Betty, it's worth it, because she's still... The thing that I think is wrong with Betty by the way, is potential brain damage. So that's why I call her my cute little special needs chicken. No offense. Because she has trouble eating. Well, she's eating quite well now. She's eating up against the side of the container, so she's learning. Usually she flicks it everywhere. Don't you, Betty? And she has weird neck movements, and she didn't have that for the first year or so of life. So I think she got some sort of injury, and yeah, it affected her nervous system somehow. Or it's wry neck, which is a chicken disease which can affect their head movements and that sort of thing. So, and it's caused by malnutrition. And the chickens have always had food, as you can see by big fat other chickens. But if she was being bullied, she may not have got as much food growing up. So that's a sad story, but you can't always see what's happening in your flock, which is why it's always good to hang around and watch your chickens when you feed them, when you go and see them. Watch what they're doing, see how they're interacting with each other, and you can possibly stop a problem before it starts. Yeah. See? Oh look, that's the rooster giving food to his girls. Did you hear that noise that he makes? He'll pick up more food and do it again. It's like they can't get the food for themselves, but he'll pick up the food and put it on the ground and give them a little gift. It's very sweet. Oh, he's just eating himself now. He must have heard me say I was going to show you. But yeah, I suppose you can rewind and see that again. Hey Jacob, you're a sweetie, you're a good rooster. There are crazy roosters, aren't there? Aren't you glad he's not a crazy rooster, Betty? Hey? Aren't you glad? Alrighty, so that's where I'm up to with the food. Next time I do a chicken video, I'll show you what I've done. But for now, I just thought I'd show you the what had happened and let you know how I'm going to fix it. And oh, that's another thing. If your chickens are getting bullied, have at least 2 feed things. Depends how many chickens you have, I guess. We did separate Betty, as you might have seen in other videos, because it was too bad, the bullying. But yeah, if you have separate food containers for them, they don't have to push each other out of the way for food. And the ones that are getting a hard time, they can just go off to another food thing. Usually I'd have them further apart, but because it's raining so much, this is probably the main shelter they have, which they don't stand under, by the way. They just walk around in the rain. Anyway, it doesn't seem to do them any harm because it's still fairly warm here. So they're wet and warm, not cold and wet. So I think cold and wet would be worse, of course. If that were the case, I would find another way of looking after them, like a proper shed or something, and make sure they stay in there. But that would be a sad life. They seem to be happy in the rain because they can always get in their coop during the day. I haven't seen the rooster eat that much for quite a while. He's always giving food to the girls. He sort of like lives on bread and water. Sometimes I'll give them a really good treat and he'll stand back and wait till they've had some, till they're finished. And sometimes he just doesn't even get any. So I usually try to reserve some for him. But anyway, that's what I'm up to with food. Given up on fermenting grain for now because it's too warm. Back to the food bowls until I fix this barrel, and I might even keep the food bowls going for a bit longer. It's just if we have really strong sideways rain, which we may still have, those food bowls are going to get wet during the day. I'll take them away at night, but that might also be a problem with this feeder in the middle. But anyway, that's my update and that's my thoughts on problem solving. I hope you have a good day. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.